So we're gonna be making a corn chowder soup. To start off with, you wanna get some potatoes. You want 3 medium to large potatoes. Mine are pretty small, so I'm gonna do 5 of them. I'm gonna peel them. I don't want any of that peel on. And take off any of the bad spots at the same time. So you've got your potatoes peeled, and now you wanna cube them. So now you want to dice up an onion. I'm doing about 3/4 of an onion, just because I'm going to be taking some of this to my family, and my dad does not like onions. For some reason, he's a Hungarian that detests onions. You've got your potatoes and onions in here. Now you want to measure out 2 cups of milk and 1 cup of water. Bring that to a boil, and you want to cook this until the potatoes are almost done. So it's when you can stick a fork into a potato and it's still going to have a little bit of resistance. Because then you're going to add a few more ingredients, keep that boiling then until the potatoes are completely done. While your soup is coming to a boil, what you can do is you can start working on your biscuits. You can even get these done ahead of time if you aren't good at doing 2 things at once, or just focus on your soup and then do your biscuits after. It doesn't really matter, but this is an old combination for me, so I'm used to kind of doing both at once. So I'm going to show you both of these at the same time, how we can make them. So the corn chowder soup's actually a family recipe. It's just the easiest corn chowder soup that I have ever seen made and have made myself. It's one that I grew up on, I've loved. It's a recipe that I've fed to lots of my friends and they all love. And then these biscuits, these are a glop biscuit or like a drop biscuit, so you don't have to form them, you don't have to roll them. It's just 2 spoons and dropping them onto your pan and baking them. And so this has been also one of like my go-to biscuit recipes that I'm showing you here. That actually after this I'll probably be dropping some off at some friends' houses because they just love them that much. So I'm keeping an eye on my soup. I'm not wanting it to burn, so every once in a while I'm just going to give it a stir. But in the meantime, we're going to measure out 2 cups of flour. You want half a teaspoon of salt. At this point you can just really smell the onions sweating. Okay, so you see how, okay, let me bring this up a bit more. So I just scoop up some potatoes here onto my spoon, and with the fork, I just want to insert it. So at that point, that went in pretty easy into the fork. So now you know that your potatoes are almost done, but not quite. I kind of just kept it at a simmer since I'm cooking on the other side here. So now we're gonna add in 1 can of cream corn. Now I like to do the largest can of cream corn, or one of the larger cans of cream corn. And then you want to add in cream of mushroom soup. So I do 2 of the smaller cans of cream of mushroom soup to 1 larger can of cream corn. Now a little tip if you're making this for anybody in your family that doesn't like mushrooms. I hate mushrooms. I won't even eat cream of mushroom soup. This is the only way I will eat cream of mushroom soup is in this recipe because you don't even taste it. So if you're making this for a family member that's really picky and doesn't like mushrooms, just tell them it's a cream-based soup and that maybe it's cream of celery in there rather than cream of mushroom, and then they'll never know. Just hide the cans. Now let's let that cook until the potatoes are fully done. I've got it on a medium heat, and I've had it on a medium heat this whole time. I'm just gonna keep it at that. Also for the biscuits, I have the oven preheating to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so we're back to our biscuits here. So you want half a cup of, you can do margarine. I've got all these bricks of butter, so I'm gonna use some of these. I just put this in the microwave for 10 seconds. If you have a pastry blender, you can use your pastry blender to cut that butter in. You could also use 2 knives. I like just using my hands because you can just really get in there and work the butter into the flour mixture. So let's get in there. So you can see how flaky the flour mixture is. That's exactly what you want. So at this point, now that you've got your butter cut in, clean off your hands and let's measure out our milk and get this mixed in. Okay, so now you want a 1.25 cups of milk. And then I like to make mine a little cheesy here. So I'm gonna add some shredded cheese to mine. Oh, that's perfect. You see how gloopy this consistency is? That's exactly what you want. So let's clear up some space and get these trayed up. Okay, so you've got your tray sprayed with a cooking spray, and now all you need is a tablespoon and a teaspoon to make these. So you're going to be scooping with the tablespoon and pushing with the back of your teaspoon. So I'm going to just get this mixing spoon cleared off here. Okay, now pop these in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. So your soup has been simmering for the past 12 minutes as your biscuits have been in the oven. So by this point, it's gonna be nice and thick. Your potatoes are gonna be just tender, like you poke them with the fork and they just fall apart. In 30 seconds here, we'll take out our biscuits, check on them, see if they need a couple more minutes. Okay, so we've got our biscuits here. Perfect. They're that nice brown on the bottom. Exactly what you want. See that? Perfect. We've got our soup done, our biscuits done. I'm gonna put my soup into a bowl with some bacon bits on top. And the biscuits you can either serve with butter, or I love to put some rhubarb jam on mine. And luckily I have a fresh jar in the fridge, so that's how I'm gonna eat mine tonight. And I'll show you what mine look like in the end here.